Everybody's talking about cherry fragrances. I don't have a whole lot of them, but I do have a few of them that I would love to discuss. So if you are interested in cherry fragrances, stay tuned. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Claudia Nyree, and on here we talk about various fragrances that are in my collection or anything that you may have recommended. This community is wide and broad. We do have a variety on here. Mostly we talk about Middle Eastern fragrances, of course fragrance layering, because I love to layer fragrances and fragrance collections. If you have never heard of me, then welcome. My name is Claudia Nyree, and you can follow me on all my social medias. Initially, I would say start off on Instagram, but we are growing so rapidly here on YouTube that I have a few people from Instagram. I have a few people of YouTube that went over to there. I just say let's continue to grow. But I will have all of my social medias listed in the description if you're interested. And all of my returning subscribers, thank you and welcome back. One of you all recommended that I talk about cherry fragrances. I tried to miss that whole trend of cherry fragrances because I really don't have a whole lot, and the cherry fragrances I have are very diverse. So I guess I'll tell you about it. Hopefully I'll discuss one that you have been interested in or one you just wanted to know someone else's thoughts on. So if that sounds interesting to you, then stay tuned. So let's get into one that I know I've talked about so many times, right? I've talked about this one enough that we're going to quickly run through it. I'm going to list the notes for you if you watched any of my channels. And here I'm going to list the playlist or the video that actually this one is in that gives you a little more detail. What am I talking about? I am talking about Wild Cherry. Wild Cherry, to me, in my opinion, beats Lost Cherry. I think that Mancera did an amazing job with coming out with Wild Cherry. Wild Cherry has notes of course, cherry, bergamot, lemon, orris, heliotrope, patchouli, jasmine, vanilla, and white musk. This one here is so gorgeous to me. It's absolutely beautiful to me. It is, it's not a syrupy cherry, but yet it does its job. It's a nice, I like this one. I really do. It has a nice sweetness to it, but not overbearing. Wild Cherry is almost like a cherry note with a tad bit of, it has not even a tad bit. It has a lot of body to it. The heliotrope, the patchouli, the jasmine kind of gives it a more matureness to it. It's Lost Cherry is gorgeous when it first starts off, and then it disappears. And that is in my opinion. Well, Wild Cherry gives you that same type of opening that your Lost Cherry will give you, but then it stays around for the long haul. And you kind of play around with some florals. You get the orris kind of powderiness. You get the heliotrope, kind of gives you a little powderiness, but you also get that patchouli and that jasmine and then that musk. The musk on the back. I think it's what makes this so sexy. I love Wild Cherry. I've talked about it a lot, so I'm not going to go into too many details again. I am going to list the video that I go into more detail about it, to why I do love it. But I want to move on to another one. All right, my next one I want to get into is Valentina Blush. Valentina Blush has, it has that sour cherry, pink pepper, orange blossom, praline, and vanilla. This one here is when you're trying to get into, and it was surprising when I first really got into blush. I guess I saw that it had a sour cherry note, but I guess I didn't really dive that deep into it. This is when I was first getting into my collection, and I was, at that point, I was just buying fragrances off of the notes. Like if there was a certain note in it, and that note to me sounded like it would go with something I want to wear or something I want to do, then that's when I would get it. And luckily, this one here turned out to be great. It is this sour cherry and pink pepper blend for me. It is so, it's like a spicy sweetness, right? It's really, and don't get me wrong, the bottle is absolutely beautiful. So I know many people probably bought a lot of these based on just what the bottle looks like. But it's the cherry pink pepper blend that makes me really enjoy this one. Orange Blossom was my first time ever really getting into the note of Orange Blossom and realizing that I did enjoy it. I would admit that praline note, if you're going for this fragrance for the praline note, the praline is not very prominent in here. It's mostly like a cherry and a pink pepper. So it's like a spicy cherry fragrance. Valentina Blush. Now remember, it is, you would think that it would be the light pink bottle, but it's not the light pink bottle because that is Poudre. You want to get the kind of orange-like bottle, and that one is Valentina Blush. All right, the next one that we have is by the Talifero. This is a line that I found on Instagram. It is really good. So this one is called Room 129. Room 129 is very simple. It is powdery notes, it is cherry, and then it has a bubblegum note. This one here to me is, I find myself that I wear this one mostly when I'm just lounging around the house. It's just so, it's sweet. I will tell you that. This is one of the ones that is sweet. The cherry note is very predominant, is right in your face. But that powderiness has a bit of coziness to it. So Room 21 is the one that I wear when I'm just lounging around. Just trying to be comfortable, just want to smell fresh, real delicate. This is the one to go with. All right, so this one here is, if you're into Middle Eastern fragrances, this would be the cherry fragrance I would tell you to go get. If it's Middle Eastern, it's called I Am the Queen. I Am the Queen is cherry, bergamot, rose, peony. There's an orange blossom note in it, jasmine, and musk. So with this one here, you get a bit of a floral base to it, but the cherry in it is, it's a beautiful blend between the rose and the peony. So you get this rose and peony and cherry, which then it'll take it to more of a fruity floral. But if you love a good orange blossom, this would be the one. You will get jasmine, you'll get bergamot. The bottle is gorgeous to be on your shelf, but this is a really pretty girl scent. It's pretty, it's affordable, it's right up. So, but consider that it's going to be rose, peony, and cherry. So that's how you'll get your cherry note. It'll be those floral notes with a cherry note that makes it a little more fruity, more creamy. I Am the Queen. My next one is going to be La Petite Noire. There is so many flankers for this. This is actually La Petite Robe Noire. I want to make sure that I said it correct. There are so many flankers, but this is the original one that first came out. This is the one that had cherry note in it. And so in this one, you're going to get the sour cherry, the almond, red berries, bergamot. It has a licorice note. I will admit that I do not smell that. It has rose, it has tea, vanilla, tonka bean, patchouli, and iris. Okay, to me, this fragrance, in my opinion, is it's like an almond, like a cherry almond. It almost come down to like a dessert. Like if you had a dessert and they had the kind of like sugary cherries on top of it with the shaved almonds. That's the vibe that I get. The rose does come in. in this one here in particular. But the rose is not, to me, it's not predominant. It's like in the background. The bottle alone is absolutely beautiful, right? It just looks classy. It looks elegant, right? It has like the dresses on it and the writing that's on. It's just a gorgeous bottle. So if you're a person who is interested in having fragrances, some people want a good fragrance, but yet they want it to be presentable on their shelf, this is a great one for that. But it's that sweet almond, slightly spiciness of this one. So if you wanted a cherry fragrance and you wanted one that was not too syrupy, just like a classy pretty girl scent, you know, or like the latest trend right now is the soft life, right? So if a person wanted to smell of just elegance, of just pure elegance, very dainty, very classy, then I would say this would be the cherry fragrance for you to go get, because it's going to give you that kind of like a sourly cherry note with a nuttiness from the almonds and like a bit of spiciness in the background. Go with this one. La Petite Robe Noire by Guerlain. This one here, now, well, I'll say this. From this one and the next one that we're going to talk about, this is for that grown and sexy woman. This is not the woman who is a young, in her early 20s, maybe coming into her perfume collection game, want to kind of have a fragrance. This is not for you. This is for the ones who's been in the game for a while, who truly know they love fragrances, love a great transition fragrances. These next two is going to be the one for you. So this one here I'm talking about is called Cherry Musk. Cherry Musk is the cherry note. It is white musk. It's heavy in musk. It has a big strawberry, what basically means that it has that nice strawberry note. And then it's oak moss and tea rose. This fragrance is mostly a rose and musk fragrance with a slight touch of cherry. So it's the cherries there, but it is not front and center. The musk, the oak moss, and the rose is more front and center. And then there's a bit of fruitiness in the background. And that fruitiness that you're getting is the cherry and the strawberry. But mostly this fragrance is oak moss, rose, and musk. Yeah, and then there's a bit of fruitiness at the end. But this is for the grown woman. This is for the executive, the higher, you know, the one that's making big bucks. This is the one who wants to command a room. She walks into a room and she wants her fragrance to walk in before her. You want them to know that you're coming through the door. Cherry musk. Cherry musk. Great. Okay, my last one in my collection that I have is for what it is for me with this particular one is the dry down. You have to make it to the dry down. Which one am I talking about? I am talking about the Majestic Jardin. The Majestic Jardin is bitter almond. It is black pepper. This is mostly black pepper in the opening. You do not get the almond. It is black pepper head over heels, right? It is purely black pepper. Then it moves into your start to get the fragrance. And then that's where you're going to get cherry, cherry blossom, tobacco, a little patchouli, and vanilla. The opening on this one, again, is black pepper. And it's the black pepper you cook with black pepper, right? This is not like the pink pepper that has a bit of slightness to it. It's just spicy. This is black pepper. And if sprayed too heavily, will make you sneeze, right? Type of fragrance. But the dry down, oh my God, the dry down is gorgeous. The dry down is where you get the almond, you get the cherry, then there's a tobacco in it. And then it has the cherry blossom, almost floral on the background. The vanilla starts to come in. If you can make it past the black pepper, gorgeous scent. Gorgeous scent. I know many people who have tried this fragrance, and I actually got this fragrance for like little to nothing on Mercari, because the person was like, it was just bad, I don't like it, or whatever, right? And I had a sample of it a while back, and I just didn't want a fragrance in my collection at that time. I didn't want a fragrance in my collection that I would have to wait for the dry down to be able to wear. But now that I actually have a full bottle of it in my collection, I still get that strong black pepper. However, the dry down is worth it. And for the price that I end up getting this for, I want to say I got it for almost $45 or something like that. It was like a ridiculously low price. They even did free shipping. That's how bad the person did not want this in their collection anymore. And I love it. I love the dry down. It takes approximately 20 to 30 minutes for the black pepper to dissipate. But then you have a fragrance that it has longevity, it has projection. It will get you, somebody's going to ask you, what is that? Because it's so different. The cherry tobacco blend, I want to say they was one of the first to do the cherry tobacco blend. But that cherry tobacco blend, and then I like the almond, like almost like a creamy almond on it, with a little vanilla in the background. And then as it gets to where you had it on for approximately 4 to 5 hours, you get a bit of vanilla and cherry. It goes into vanilla and cherry, right? But then after like I said, about 20, 30 minutes. It takes about 20, 30 minutes on my skin. This is not a fragrance that you spray on your clothes. This is not. You spray this on your clothes, that black pepper never really goes away until like 2 to 3 hours in. This is for your skin. You need to spray this on your skin. You spray it on your skin with your chemistry. It is going to move the black pepper out, and then you'll get this. And it's gorgeous, like a cherry tobacco blend. It is really, really pretty. It's really gorgeous. But that black pepper, I'm telling you right now, this is not a blind buy worthy fragrance. You blind buy this fragrance, you may perhaps come back to my channel, leave me horrible comments to how bad this fragrance was. And I don't want you to do that. So I want you to go and get a sample of it. If you know someone who has it, ask them to send you a decant and try it out on your skin. You could not be ready yet. But as you progress into your fragrance game, you're going to eventually find a love for it, because there are going to be more fragrances that you're going to find that you have to wait. It's one of them that you need to be patient fragrances. But if you're willing to go through the journey, the Majestic Jardin is the one that I think you should go get. Well, get a sample of it first. You know I couldn't leave you unless I told you about some layering. Let's start layering some fragrances. If you had an opportunity to get your hands on Cream Elixir by Victoria's Secrets. Cream Elixir by Victoria's Secrets was basically black cherry and liquid amber, right? And you have this in your collection, and you can get your hands on Josette's Gourmand Bacor. This is a cherry pie. This is like a walking cherry pie. Victoria's Secrets Cherry Elixir with Josette's Gourmand Bacor. And this happens to be the extrait. I'm telling y'all, this is gorgeous together. This is so edible. This is my first layering. Go get it. Okay, my last layering that I have, and I want to tell you about that, is cherry base. And I want to say this was 2 years ago. Chocolate Covered Cherry by Bath and Body Works. Chocolate Covered Cherry by Bath and Body Works is one that I wear. I tend to reach for this one mostly around Valentine's Day or in the month of February. I can be truthfully honest with you. Because it's milk chocolate, it is red cherries, and it's sweet liqueur. The spray alone is absolutely gorgeous. And if you want to add this to any chocolate fragrance, it does magic. But this video is about cherry. What am I layering with it? It is Sniff's Tarte Decor. Tarte Decor was by the Sniff line. If you never heard of it, I had neither. And someone had brought it to my attention. This one is like a syrupy dripping cherry. I like this one, but I had to go get it out of my daughter's collection because even though I like it, the syrupiness got a little overwhelming for me. I can't believe I got so excited about the layering that I forgot to tell you the notes. Here it goes. Okay, I wanted to come back on because I didn't actually tell you the notes that was in Tarte Decor. Tarte Decor is cherry, raspberry, rose, jasmine, mimosa, birchwood, and vetiver, and vanilla, right? It is actually even on the website considered to be something that you should layer. They tell you that it's formulated to be able to layer any fragrance that you want to add a little more cherry note to it. So if you happen to get your hands on Sniff, which is a great line, and you have, say, Lost Cherry, layer them two together and maybe you'll get a little more longevity out of Lost Cherry. So when I want to just be like edible, sweet, candy, like almost like I'm dripping sweetness, then I put these two together because I'm going to get that chocolate covered cherry, which is like the cherry you get in a jar, and you add that syrupy cherry to it. Absolutely beautiful. Now, it is a bit much for me. I might be able to wear it one day. I don't wear it very often. I love it on my daughter because she's at that age where just being cutesy sweet is in. That goes good. So I actually, for me, in my opinion, this layering combo probably will work great with someone who likes that sticky sweetness. In my surroundings, that happens to be my daughter. Right, my daughter is the one who really likes that candy sweet, almost cloying like sweet fragrances. She still loves her pink. What is it? Pink. What is it? And everybody talks about it, and I cannot think of it right now. Pink candy or something. I don't know, but it comes in the bottle that has the little pink swirls on it. She loves Fancy by Jessica Simpson. She absolutely adores the chocolate, Roses and Chocolate by Mancera that I gave her. She wears it and it smells like a Tootsie Roll. This combo is right up the alley for her. This is absolutely almost on the borderline of sickening sweet. All right, thank you for hanging on in here with me, and we talked about cherry. I would admit I was hesitant to jump on the trend to talk about cherry fragrances because there was so many cherry videos already out there. So I felt like all the ones that I could possibly tell you about would have already been discussed. But I do hope that I've actually told you about a few of them that you didn't know about, that you didn't even know that cherry was in the fragrance, or it was one that all of the ones that you have heard cherry fragrances about, they just wasn't what you were looking for, because I think I gave you 5 different variations of cherry. I don't think any of the cherry fragrances that I talked about are similar, right? They were not like you can have a redundancy in your collection. I think each one of them that I discussed had a cherry note. However, it had a cherry note that they added a different little twist to. So for the person who asked for me to talk about it, here you go. I talked about cherry fragrances. I was hesitant, but I did it just for you. And if you would like me to talk about a fragrance, you would like to talk about a particular note or something like that that's in my collection, I will give you the heads up. We have types of oud coming. We have my honey fragrances I have in my collection coming. And we have cinnamon. So those are on the way. Just hang on in here, and for you to know more about that, then are you subscribed? Because you should subscribe. Turn on your notifications. That way you can catch these videos as they air. I truly love doing this with you. My only request, and it's always been the same request, is just share the video if you are enjoying it. Let more people know that there's a person like me on YouTube who's talking about fragrances, who is building her community around just being a host to your channel. So on that note, I'm going to bid you a wonderful day, a wonderful morning, whenever it is that you got an opportunity to see this video. And I'm going to see you in the next video.